First day of spring 2002, but don't look out your window, especially if you're watching this at some beautiful summer day, because the weather's not really like the first day of spring. We're expecting 2 to 5 inches of snow. And Calvin trudged his way down from the Ridge Road in Champlain and I from the other end of town to come to Evergreen Valley Nursing Home to be with our friend, Lefty Tessier. Warren, how are you, buddy?
I'm great, Gordy. How are you?
I'm doing just fine and dandy. Two things I have to start with. A story that Calvin was telling me about you and Zerlo. What was that all about?
John Zerlo. He has a baseball story that he remembers much better than I from college days at St. Michael's. He claims that I hit a pop-up in the infield and got to second base faster than he got to first base on a ground out.
I love it.
And some scout in the stands told him that. So he loves to tell the story.
He thought it was going to be his big chance for
right.
fame, and the guy told him you made it to second quicker than he made it to first.
Right.
He's still laughing about it, so I guess he doesn't hold a grudge.
Well, he carries a lot more with him than I do, you know.
Well, I got to tell you that I was in court this morning working as a crime victims advocate. That's my day job. And I sat for a long time in the lobby of the county courthouse with a guy that you might remember, because he also caught you at one time in your illustrious baseball career, and his name is Charlie Parker.
Oh, yes. Bobby Parker. I remember him as. Yep.
And
sure
what great stories he had to tell.
Yes. I remember those days so well. Baseball around here was just fantastic when I was in high school and and through early college years.
Well, he grew up right here in Fox Hill, but he went to PHS. You grew up here, but you went to OLVA, didn't
Yes,
you?
I did. Yes, I'm a graduate of the high school across the street, or the ex-high school.
It's wonderful. Well, we've spent a lot of time. Fox Hill is a very special place, like a neighborhood, like one of the neighborhoods in New York City. People who have been born and brought up in Fox Hill love to talk about their childhood stories here and about the extended families and the 26th Infantry. And he's telling me these stories this morning about how going over to the base and watch the maneuvers. And
well, my dad actually was with the 26th Infantry, and that's how I came to be. Met my mom here in Plattsburgh, and so I've sort of lived that little story that's being told. Although I'm not a true Fox Hiller, I've lived on the other side of the river for a number of years. In fact, attended St. John's Academy for a few years before coming to Our Lady of Victory.
That's great. And after that, you went on to college. Where'd you go?
I went to college at St. Michael's in Winooski, Vermont. Yep. Or it's now called Colchester, I guess, but in the old days it was Winooski.
But some of our viewers may not be aware. You and I have done this interview before, but you left this area for quite a while, didn't you?
I left to go play professional baseball after my junior year in college, and essentially left this area until I came back to manage the nursing home in 1993. So I was gone roughly 35 years. Never lived here as an adult until these last 9 years.
Isn't that amazing? But
is.
You did come back home finally.
I did come home.
Well, how did that transpire? How did this job opportunity happen?
Well, it was all to do with the nursing home. I was employed in the Elmira Horseheads, New York area, and was contacted by Bill Hassett, who was in the process of purchasing the facility from the Sisters of St. Louis. And we talked about would I have any interest in coming to Plattsburgh to run the nursing home. And so I met with him. In fact, I met with him in New York City, and we had a conversation. I made several trips up, and the rest is history.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Didn't we lose Bill this past year?
Bill passed away in March of 2000. So it'll
2000.
be 2 years ago,
2 years.
March 13th, in fact. It was just last week. It was his anniversary.
That was a big shock because we did get to talk to him on a couple of special occasions,
Right.
and that was very nice.
It was a shock, and it was very sudden and surprising, and a big loss to all of us because he was just a fantastic individual.
Now, this facility has undergone quite a few changes since it was first built, hasn't it?
Well, essentially, two changes. The Sisters of Charity of St. Louis are the original founders and built it and opened it in 1965. They expanded the facility in 1975, and then they sold it to Bill and Peggy Hassett in the early 1990s. So that's really the only transition.
And that's when
the
name changed.
The name changed from Sacred Heart Nursing Home to Evergreen Valley Nursing Home. During the 80s, there was some management people in here.
I remember.
A order of Franciscan sisters, I believe, from Minnesota, that operated it for the sisters, for the local sisters for a while. But other than that, it's been pretty steady in its history.
Has the building undergone many changes?
The building, with the exception of the addition in 1975, when they added this administrative wing that we're in and the chapel, the only renovations have been internal, furniture and painting and moving walls and doing those kinds of things, but nothing externally.
Was this a big transition in your life to come back to Plattsburgh and manage a nursing home? You didn't have any experience in that field?
Well, I did before I came here, yes.
You did?
Yes, I've been in the healthcare business for roughly 27 years.
Oh, okay.
Prior to that, I was in the field of education.
That's what I thought.
Yes,
Yeah.
so it wasn't a big shock to come here in terms of managing the nursing home. It was more of a shock to come here for employment purposes, because I would have never guessed that I'd ever come
Really?
back here. At my age, you would have thought I was going south, not north.
That's the normal course of events.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it didn't work out. And at that time, that was my wife's thought. She thought probably, I might have been a little nuts. I'm just going the wrong direction. But it's worked out exceptionally well, and we're very pleased that we made the change. And for me, it was an opportunity to meet people like you and many others that I remember from a long time ago, but had no idea what anybody looked like or what they were doing.
It's incredible. You go back, and now we've made a few trips back to my old hometown of Moira. Last summer, we had really fun doing a parade down there, and it was amazing to see people that you hadn't seen since you were 18 years old in high school.
It was, and of course my real treat is hearing all these stories about what went on when I was here as a youngster playing baseball and basketball and living and so on, that I really didn't recall much of, because I had nobody to swap the stories with through the years. So it was a real treat to hear a lot of the things.
Yeah. So, of course, the stories I heard when I went back to my hometown was you weren't really as bad as people say you were.
Well, I always accepted the good stories and told them the bad ones, it wasn't me.
Everything.
You got the wrong guy.
But now you're back here, and it looks like you're going to be here for the duration.
Well, actually, I'm winding down my career as a nursing home administrator.
Are you really?
And expect sometime in the late summer to retire officially and turn over the operation of the nursing home to Wendy Bishop, who hopefully you'll talk to a little later on in the program. Wendy is now in an administrator and training program, and we'll finish early summer, and we're going to swap places. I'm going to stay on as a consultant to help her for a few years, but officially I'll not be the administrator. She will be.
So was my next question. Are you going to leave the area again? But I guess not. Huh?
Well, we may leave the area, but only because our plans are to move to Rochester, New York, which is where our children are.
Oh,
And we want to be near family, and so we are going to do that. But I will be coming back on a routine basis to work with the nursing home for whatever needs they might have of me in the years to come.
That's great. That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
As I was talking with Mr. Parker earlier today, we were discussing how many of the good, solid life's lessons we learn by getting involved in athletics. And for a long time it was, what can you learn playing baseball? But I'm sure you would agree with me that some of the best lessons you learned were playing sports, and that some of the coaches had almost as much effect on your life as your parents.
Well, in my case, that's very true, because I was under the tutelage of John Flynn at Our Lady of Victory. And John was special to me because he became a father figure, a role model My dad had died many years ago, in fact, when I was 9, and so his help with me and guidance and direction was invaluable. And it was through sports that I became in touch with him, and so it all was very influential in my life.
Yeah, I'm sure. I knew you'd agree, and I know Calvin agrees because he's been involved with sports all of his life and now in taping all the ball games. And, you know, we get together and we mention those coaches' names, and I'd hate to start, but the first name that comes to my mind after John Flynn is Barry Brannon, and what an impact he had on sports in this area for so many years.
Yes, he did. And actually, both of those gentlemen, they were involved in politics and everything in the community in a big way. But Barry, of course, has another thing going for him as far as I'm concerned, in that he went to St. Michael's. He was a St. Michael's College graduate. So while I played against him, enormous respect for him, and many of my friends, because I went to St. John's for a while, that I have today are St. John's as well as Our Lady of Victory. So, of course, in this community, that's easy to do. You pretty much have a very good assortment of friends from all of the schools.
It's really great. And we mentioned, again, I apologize for not mentioning all the names of the old coaches, but we've done that on various other programs that we've done, and found it so fascinating to hear these stories about people who had such an impact on the area,
Right.
on sports, on education, on politics, as parents with their own kids playing sports. And we take every opportunity to salute those people who've had an impact on our lives, and as well as our favorite teachers, our favorite coaches really did. I'm glad to hear
Whoever they are, right.
whoever they are.
I think it's a great idea, and a great thing that you do when you do those recognition, because oftentimes we forget where the foundation, the basis, and where all this came from. And it's good to recognize people like John Flynn or Al Pajonas at MAI, or Barry Brannon, and some of the others.
Yeah. And in the old days, and I won't belabor this fact, but in the old days in many of the small school systems, you had one dedicated coach for every sport that was played in that school.
That's right.
And it just happens that my high school coach's name was Lefty also. But the man was amazingly tolerant with me, because unlike you, I was the worst basketball player he had ever seen, and he often told me that. But I learned an awful lot of lessons, and I certainly learned how to cheer from the bench.
Right.
So, great golden memories of our
They are.
childhood.
They're precious. They really
forget.
are.
Yeah.
They're very precious.
Well, you are so kind to allow us to come here today. We've been making the tour of a few places around Plattsburgh. We wish we could visit them all, but for those folks who are watching this program who have no idea what the inside of a nursing home is all about, we're inviting them in here today through the eyes of the hometown cable camera and Calvin Castine on the other end of it, whose face doesn't get on television nearly enough on this program. But it's really fun to come over here and just find out what it's all about. And before we leave here today, I'm sure our viewers will have a much better picture than they have right now.
Well, it's certainly our pleasure to host this and to give you that sense of nursing home living and what it's all about. It's a great time and opportunity for us. Nursing homes, as you know, don't enjoy the best of reputations, and in regard to national and state news, the major networks, everybody, its image is tarnished, and this is an opportunity that I wouldn't pass up at all, because we need to tell people that at least in the North Country, the nursing homes here are excellent, and I would say that clearly for every one of them.
But don't you find that we buck the national trend that way so many ways? I mean, just talking with Lefty, we've produced some of the greatest athletes, some of the most humble, wonderful people in the North Country, but we do a lot of things right up here. And we're glad to take this opportunity to recognize your organization here and others because of what you said. And I wasn't going to bring up that subject until you did, but I cringe every time I see one of those stories, and I know you do too.
I think what's maybe a good idea is that we keep a low key and we don't let anybody know we're here.
Good,
because
well-kept secret, sir.
It is a well-kept secret, and we don't get the publicity, the bad publicity that many places do, and that's a good thing because we don't deserve it in the first place. And so if we sort of let it stay in the background, it'll be all right with all of us, I think. Yeah.
It's certainly okay with me.
Right, right.
Well, again, thanks so much for letting us come here today. We'll talk to you before we leave, and we'll get the cook's tour in a minute.
Okay, that's all right. Sounds great.
As you know, we're at Evergreen Valley Nursing Home Facility off South Catherine Street in Plattsburgh, and we moved to another part of the building with Wendy Bishop. How are you?
I'm very good, Gordy. Nice to be here with you guys.
It's
Thanks
nice
for
to
coming.
be with you, and your reputation has preceded you. Lefty has given us your entire life story.
Well, that's kind of...
And he says you're going to take over this place.
Well, you know, he's an inspiring person, and he has convinced me that this is a wonderful career. So I'm looking forward to the challenge, because it clearly is a challenge in today's environment and nursing home field. So it's a totally different avenue for me. I was previously in public accounting, certified public accountant. So
You really?
yeah,
Now, that's a bit of a change.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a change for me, but I'm enjoying the nursing home and have had some wonderful experiences here with both residents and staff and family members. In fact, my grandmother was a resident of Evergreen Valley
Come on.
Nursing Home, so
Oh, wow.
there's a little bit of history here, and it's
You're
been
coming
wonderful.
full circle,
I'm coming
huh?
full circle. So,
Well,
and
I want to learn a little bit more about you. You told me you did grow up here.
I did. I grew up here in Plattsburgh. I went to Beekmantown Central School.
What
actually.
was your maiden name?
My name was Bisa.
Abisa.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You went where to school?
Beekmantown, and I went to Plattsburgh State University to get my accounting degree. And I'm continuing education right now on a kind of distance learning program to maintain a master's in nursing home administration.
No kidding.
Yeah, so, and that's been an interesting thing as well. Distance learning is a little bit different than the institutional setting of a, college. So.
Yeah, we've done a few shows on distance learning, but isn't it amazing that we're capable of doing
Oh, it's
that?
wonderful. Oops, excuse me.
That's
The
right.
technology is just absolutely incredible. I mean, you just push a button and your papers are sent. So, and that's a good thing and a bad thing sometimes, because you think, oh, maybe I shouldn't have sent that, but,
So are you taking a full load?
Actually, no. And to become a nursing home administrator, there are certain requirements that the New York State Department of Health dictates. So I actually fulfilled those requirements specifically, and I'm hoping to pursue the rest of the degree within maybe a 5-year time frame.
So did you actually get a chance to hold down another job after college, or did you come?
I worked public accounting. In order to become a certified public accountant, you have to have a certain amount of experience in auditing and those types of things. So yes, I did work publicly.
So how did you gravitate to this place?
Well, an opportunity arose for me to become the controller here at Evergreen Valley, and I decided to take
okay,
it.
now
And
we got the steps.
so I came here as the controller and was presented with the wonderful opportunity to become administrator in training following Warren. And he's been, like I said previously, he's an inspiring person. So I think that he does a wonderful job running this nursing home, and I've learned a tremendous amount of information from him and look forward to working with him in the future.
He's a great guy, and we
Oh,
were
he is.
so thrilled when he decided to move back to Plattsburgh, because talking about reputations, when we get together, we always talk about sports in the old days.
Yeah.
Because it just happens that we're both the same age, and it just happens that we both graduated from high school before your grandparents were dreamed of a long time ago. So he is a great guy, and it's great.
Definitely.
Always like coming home to come back up
It
here to
is.
Evergreen.
And home is home, and that's what I find with Evergreen. I mean, there's definitely a sense of compassion here, and the staff and the way the residents, they interact so positively that it's definitely a sense of home here. And I really
Do I
like
hear
that
birds?
environment. You certainly do. We
I
have
saw a
3
kitty
birds here.
cat when
We
I
have-
came
we
in,
have-
a white cat.
We have 2 cats, Sam and Sadie. Yes, we have a female and a male cat. They're our residents' animals, pretty much. We also have a visiting pet therapy program where we have outside volunteers come in with their pets and visit our residents, and it's great therapy for residents. They enjoy it tremendously.
It wasn't any surprise to me when suddenly there was national spotlight on pet therapy. Because I've always owned pets and always known that pets are good for you.
They're wonderful.
Suddenly they were doing big stories about how they're good for seniors and how it makes them
Wonderful
feel
for
good.
seniors. And, pets provide unconditional love. So, I mean, residents just know that. They just take right to them. And we actually had one resident here we have a Cocker Spaniel, and you might have read about him in the papers recently. He actually participated in September 11th Manhattan saga, and his name is Joey, and he used to come on a specific day every day of the week, and we had one resident who would actually dress up for Joey, and she would say, "It's Joey Day, I'm dressing up," and it was just to see that smile on her face that Joey brought to her. It was just incredible.
Now, we can talk a little bit about the whole concept of nursing homes, because as I said at the outset, many of our viewers have never been inside a nursing home. Unless they visited one, they don't know the idea. And the idea of nursing homes, especially this one, has changed a lot over the years. It's not like it was in the early 20th century, is it?
It certainly has, and I think that there's a misconception out there, especially with all the negative press that we've been receiving, unfortunately. One facility does one bad thing, and all nursing homes are suddenly bad.
It becomes an indictment.
It is. It's incredible, but you have to think about these people and what their lives would be like without a nursing home. And from my perspective, we provide 24-hour care. We provide them with nourishing meals. We provide them with social activities, therapeutic activities, all kinds of interaction that they would never have if they were living at home. They visit not only with their own family members, but they visit with other family members. They visit with other residents. They visit with staff. They have a lot of interaction going on here that wouldn't necessarily take place, and I believe that improves the quality of their life. And I'm positive that, we provide good care here, and I'd stand behind that for sure.
It's a major decision when a person reaches that time in their life to leave their home, the old family homestead, or an apartment wherever they happen to be living. It's difficult.
It's certainly difficult at best. I mean, the amount of change that happens to a resident when they first come into the nursing home is got to be traumatizing. They lose a lot of their independence in terms of they no longer have control of their home and their finances and those types of things necessarily. Not all residents, I might be misspeaking in terms of finances and those types of things, but we try and make that transition as positive and as loving and comforting as possible, and I think our staff does a very, very good job at ensuring residents receive a wonderful welcome when they come to our facility.
I think it's a good point that we talked today. Of course, it was a pleasure to meet you, but it's important for our viewers to understand the concept of a nursing home, because at some point in their lives, chances are they're going to have to become a very quick study. So they better start early and learn and listen to what we're saying here
I think
today.
it's important for everybody to educate themselves in terms of their options. Nursing homes aren't necessarily the best bet for everyone. There clearly are different options out there, and lots more are coming into our neighborhood. We've got assisted living, we've got daycare centers, we've got all kinds of interesting things that help assist residents become as much, I shouldn't say residents, people be as independent as they can. And if they need the option of a nursing home, we certainly are here. And we would welcome them and care for them just like any other resident of the facility. It is a stressful situation when you have to actually sit down and think about, well, where am I going to be in 50 years? Should I plan to be in a nursing home, or maybe there'll be other options out there? And clearly, you need to explore all of those options, and we advocate that. We clearly wouldn't want somebody here if they're not appropriately placed here.
How does this facility compare in size to some of the other nursing homes? How many residents do you have here?
We have 89 residents here.
You do?
We do. We have
Wow.
89 residents,
That
which is
surprises
wonderful.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had the 89 residents and all the 115 staff members and all the family members, there are a lot of people coming and going every day. It's interesting. Compared to some of the other facilities, we're probably middle-sized. There's another nursing home which is double the size. And then there's a few that are around 50 beds and a 60 also.
And you have that big a staff?
We do. We have 115 people on staff here, and of course we're always looking for wonderful, caring people. So.
Well, the nursing profession has been undergoing a metamorphosis, and that is probably an understatement. And it's difficult to keep staffing these days in hospitals and nursing homes.
It is, but I feel that we're holding our own. Fortunately. I think the type of environment, you have to really want to be doing this type of work. And we obviously have those caring individuals here. And we try and do all kinds of neat little perks to get them to stay, obviously. And there are, people try other fields, but this is a very gratifying field. It's very rewarding. Getting a smile from a resident can make your whole day, just spending 10 minutes with somebody. It's very nice.
Anything to do with the human services field can be very, very rewarding.
It can be rewarding. At the same time, it can be devastating when a resident dies.
Yeah.
It clearly is
Sure.
a hard thing to deal with.
Well, what kind of job descriptions are there here? We know what you're doing. We know
Yeah.
what Lefty Tessier is doing. What other? You have nursing staff?
We have plenty of nursing staff. We have RNs, we have LPNs, we have certified nursing assistants. We also have quite a few volunteers who come and help us out with activities. We have activity staff. We also have kitchen staff who prepare wonderful meals here. At least I'm a little biased in those, but I think our residents will tell you the same thing.
It's like that commercial on television where the old guy says, how do you like going into a nursing home? He says, well, food's better.
Well, think of the alternative. They have to cook their own meal. Now, it's pretty good, yeah. We also have housekeeping staff, maintenance, environmental services. We have an admissions specialist who is in charge of making sure that residents are appropriately placed. We have director of nursing. There's a long variety of people involved in making sure that everybody is cared for in the best possible way.
Because people, in spite of the fact that they're of an advanced age, they still want to maintain as much of their individuality
Definitely.
and their privacy as they can. And so it's an interesting balance, isn't it?
It certainly is a challenge at times. We have a variety of ages in the facility, in fact, and so you're starting to deal with a little bit of intergenerational things, and that's always presenting a challenge. There's different interests in terms of activities. We have a lot of females, we have versus males, so you have to balance out the activities to make sure
you guys still live
include the
longer, don't you?
Yeah, I think we still do.
And that's a good point that you made about the diversity in age, because you have people who are over 100 and you have people who are much, much younger who
certainly
come to a
do.
nursing home for different reasons.
There are certainly a lot of variety of reasons why residents do come to a nursing home, and we are seeing a difference in population as versus when I first started. It seemed as though there were a lot more older people, but now there's a lot of intergenerational who are coming in their 40s and 50s.
You are a young woman with a lot of vitality and energy, and I can tell that when you take this job, you really want to do it.
I do want to do it.
And you also are delighted to take this opportunity to explain the positive side of the nursing home business, especially for those people who live in the greater Plattsburgh and Clinton County area who might at one time be wanting to avail themselves of this service.
Well, at least I can give them a little bit of a insight on what it is to work at a nursing home, to live at a nursing home, to just visit a nursing home. I think it's a very positive thing for our seniors and the younger people who actually live here. Come and visit us.
Yeah.
I'm
Are
sure
there
there'll be-
times when the general public is allowed to come in and look around, or should
Well,
they?
it all depends on what your interest is. If you're interested in visiting with a resident, certainly please come in and sign up front. And if you're uncertain as to how things go, we'll certainly give you a tour and we'll introduce you to some people and residents who might need something like that. We have a volunteer program, so if you're interested in just coming to volunteer services, we certainly would encourage you to do that and come
What a
in.
good thing to do.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's really wonderful. I think that, even an hour, a month, a week, whatever it is, will help provide
The
some.
volunteer spirit is alive and well in this area and always
Certainly
has
is.
been. Thank God for people who are willing to volunteer.
I'm very impressed with this neighborhood, this county's ability to attract volunteers, and it seems as though there are a lot of people out there who are willing to share a little bit, and it's just so gratifying to know that. Yeah,
That's
I
right.
think it is, yeah.
Well, this is just a lot of facilities like this would love to have this kind of a space.
We are fortunate here. We are blessed with a lot of space, and partly because when the nursing home was originally built in 1965, it was built not for profit, and it was Sisters of Charity of St. Louis who actually were the founders. And so they didn't necessarily follow the minimum guidelines. So there is actually quite a lot of space here as compared to other nursing homes, and we are definitely blessed with that. I mean, it's fun to be able to have a huge activity, and it's nice.
So every day is a pretty good day for Wendy when she comes to work.
I think it is. It's a great day.
That's great. I can't. And when will you officially pick up the mantle?
I'm hoping by the end of summer. It's all contingent upon the Department of Health. They have to approve me to be able to sit for the final exam.
Oh, I'll tell them you're.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? I think that would be great. I might take you up on that.
End of the summer, huh?
Yeah.
And then the Lefty says he'll work in an advisory capacity for a while.
Yes, he's promised. And you know, it's always wonderful to think that I can pick up that phone and say, you know, what would you do? And he's got some great experience. He's had quite a bit of experience actually in nursing home settings. So.
And even with all that experience, every day presents a new challenge and a new naughty question to answer. But
you know, I think he tries every day not to scare me any more than everybody else is doing. But you know, with the regulations and nursing homes, interesting little tidbit that I actually learned from Lefty is that nursing homes are second regulated only to nuclear weapons. The second highest regulated industry.
Puts it pretty much into perspective.
So, and you have to think about that. Along with caring for these people, you have to make sure that you're following regulations, and they crack down pretty hard on us when we don't follow regulations.
Yeah,
so.
you know, once again, the average person would not think about that until you mention that and you say, yeah, I can understand why.
Certainly. But there are no other industries as highly regulated except for nuclear weapons, obviously. But when you think about it from that perspective.
But I think it's also, you know, I said before that it's a tough transition from a CPA to a nursing home administrator, but really, it's not when you stop to think about it, because that degree of yours will bode well for you for all the years you're here.
Well, I hope so, Gordy. I've come to think that it'll be a very beneficial combination of degrees and whatnot and experience in terms of knowing how to make sure that we make the most of our reimbursement money to provide the best quality care we can. I think that'll help.
Well, we're gonna look around a little bit, aren't we? Meet some more people.
Yes, I'm sure you'll meet plenty of people. We've got lots here.
That's great. I hope you stay with us as we show you through Evergreen Valley Nursing Home. Well, we moved into another portion of Evergreen Valley Nursing Home, reminding our viewers that we just picked a nursing home in the area to go through to give people an idea what nursing home life is like and what the whole general picture of a nursing home facility is like. And we thank Lefty and Wendy and the staff for inviting us in here today. I'm sneaking a peek out the window and I see snow coming down on the first day of spring. Oh boy. Now, you're Virgie Lapierre, a famous North Country name.
Oh, yes.
A good French name from a long time ago. Virgie, have you always lived around here?
I live in Altona.
Hey, nothing wrong with Altona.
20 years.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Altona's a good place. We've done a few TV shows at the Flat Rock area up there.
Oh, yes, uh-huh.
Lots of good blueberries and huckleberries.
A lot of farms.
Yeah, farms too. So you were brought up there?
I was brought up in Ellenburg, and I got married. We moved to Altona,
And here you are at Evergreen today. We're in another room. What room is this?
This is where my husband eats. He eats over
It's
there.
a cafeteria?
Yes.
Oh, I tell you, I can't believe how much room there is inside here.
It's a beautiful place. It's really nice.
Now, Lefty said you spend a lot of time here.
Day in, day out.
Do you?
Yeah, I come about 9:30 in the morning until about 2 when my husband goes to bed.
So your husband is a resident here?
Yes,
then?
he is. Yes.
So what kind of things do you do when you're here?
We go in the activity room and we listen to music and we join in with the activity girls. And well, my husband can't because he's in a wheelchair. He can't talk anymore. He can't walk. But he's well treated here.
You know, that's wonderful for you to say that, because people may wonder about, is it proper for us to put our husbands or our wives or our parents or our grandparents in a nursing home facility? Your husband is fortunate that he has you to come here every day to be with him.
Right. Well, when you're married 53 years, you know.
Come on.
53.
I was going to guess that you were about 53.
Oh, boy. Right.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So how long has he been here?
It'll be 6 years in August.
And you're here every single.
Not every day. Some days I play hooky.
Do you?
Uh-huh.
You're entitled, once in a great while.
Yes, some days I play hooky.
And you still live up in Altona?
I do. I live by myself, and I got 2 daughters that's not too far from me.
That's nice.
That's nice.
So you raised 2 daughters.
Oh, no, I got 7. 7 kids.
Well, tell me about them.
I got 5 girls and 2 boys. 2 girls in Florida, 1 boy in Kansas. And every once in a while I go down and see them.
Really spread them around a little bit. Out
Yeah.
there in Kansas with Dorothy, huh?
Yeah,
Toto and.
right. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. But
Yeah.
do you get to see them once in a while?
Usually every year I go and see them.
That's good.
Yeah. And if they come out here, then I don't go,
Yeah. Well, just tell us what a typical day is like for you here at Evergreen.
Well, I get here at 9:30 in the morning, and usually my husband's in the activity room. He already been fed breakfast, and we sit, and then it's time for him to go to the bathroom, and there's 3 little aides that takes care of him very good. Can I mention names of the girls?
Well, I wish you would. They'd be pleased. I know they would.
Laura, Maggie, and Eva usually are the ones that take care of Edward. But the rest are, you can't ask for any better. They're good workers, all of them.
Well, staff is very important in a facility like this. And as Wendy already said, it takes a special person to want to work in a nursing home.
Right.
Special, dedicated person with lots of energy and lots of empathy and lots of feeling for other people.
Right. And if you come in here sad, those girls can make you laugh.
Really?
Right. They sure can.
That's good. That's good.
And the
to
nurses are wonderful.
have a nice smile.
Yeah.
And somebody else said the food is good here, too.
The food is good. Every once in a while, I take a taste of my husband's. Well, he's on puree food, so.
Now, did you live in that house in Altona all through your married life?
Let me see, we lived there, about, God, when my husband, I think we had 43 years, I'm not sure.
Really?
43 years. We worked for a farmer before.
So you get in your little buggy and come down here just about every morning?
Every morning. Every morning.
Like I said before, we're recording this on the first day of spring, and I hope you don't have a snowstorm to drive home in.
Well,
today.
I'll tell you, I drove in kind of tough weather coming down here and going back.
Have you? I bet
Yeah.
you have more than once
More than once.
over the last 6 years.
Yep, it sure has.
Well, that's great. I'm sure you do like it here. I'm glad we talked to you here today.
Oh, I do. This place is like home because I'm here more than I am home.
I'm sure most of these facilities try to make the same impression on the residents and their families, and we like to hear those good positive reports. That's great.
They're really good. And Warren is very, very nice.
He's a good guy, isn't he?
He sure is.
He's a great guy.
They're all good.
Oh, a bunch of good people, and it's nice to see a young person such as Wendy taking over and Warren being able to relax a little bit after working so many years in the field.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
Well,
being with
thank
us
you.
today.
And I've seen you on Wiry many times.
I bet you didn't see me on Wiry.
I
You
didn't
heard
heard
me.
you.
Well, we've been.
Don't
It's hard.
mind me, I'm
it's hard-
nervous.
Well, no, it's hard to believe that I haven't been there since 1997.
My.
Calvin was knocking on my door a few days later because our good friend Bob Venn, who used to do this show with Calvin, died. And Calvin and I had known each other for a long time anyway, so we just picked up the old microphone and put a battery in the camera and took off and did it again. And we
Wow,
really enjoy doing this. And you know why? Because we meet charming people like you.
Well, thank you very much.
Would you say hello to Altona for us when you get home?
I sure will.
I hope you don't have to wave with one hand and hold a snow shovel in the other.
Oh, I don't shovel.
We're going to continue our tour interviewing wonderful people at Evergreen Valley Nursing Home. Wow, we got to meet somebody else in another room. There's so many rooms in Evergreen. It's amazing. Howard Betters, how are you, my friend?
Fine, thank you.
That's great. It was so nice of you to let us come and talk to you. You're a resident here at Evergreen.
Yes, I am.
How long you been over here?
Oh, about a year and a half now. It's nice here. It's a nice place.
Now, you told me before you're originally from Osable Forks.
Yes, I am, sir.
Who do I know from we were just talking about people from Osable Forks, and you mentioned a few names. Douglas?
Art Douglas used to be the supervisor, yes.
Long time ago.
Right?
So were you born and brought up over there?
Yes, I was.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Did you know, who's our good friend? Len Snow.
Do I know Len Snow? He's my brother-in-law.
See how things come together. There's a little magic in hometown cable television, in case you didn't know that. Len Snow's your brother-in-law?
Yes, sir.
Isn't that amazing? We just saw him a short time ago. He was showing us his gold medals because he won a couple of snowshoe races.
91.
Isn't he amazing?
Amazing is right.
Playing
Yeah.
golf in the summertime and
Yep.
out there in the snowshoes.
Oh, you think he was about 17 years old.
When you talk about war stories, that guy's got stories to tell.
Well, he was over there, so, he should know.
So did you live somewhere near him on the forks?
Well, I don't know if you know where the river goes right
Yeah.
straight. I lived on this side of the river. He lived on the other side
the
of the
other
river.
side of the river?
Yeah. He's down here now. He moved from All Sable down here in Plattsburgh.
To Lake Forest, yeah.
Yes, Lake Forest,
We
right.
met he and his wife a few days ago and interviewed another group of people.
Uh-huh.
She had a little setback a couple years ago, but
Right.
she's doing better.
Yeah, Deline, yes.
Keep hanging in there.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm telling you, for that, I'd be well satisfied to get his age and do what he does. He's very, very active.
Yeah.
Activity, oh my God, that guy gets in more time.
Well, he's always kept his mind active,
Right,
too. He was
right.
always involved, like you were, in so
Yeah.
many things in the community and,
Yeah.
and politics and school boards
Yeah.
and just, get a piece
Yeah.
of the action wherever he could.
Well, I'm just like it in here. I'm active in here.
Are you?
Oh, yeah, I deliver the papers in the morning.
Do your paper boy. oldest
Water
paper
boy.
boy in Clinton County.
No, it keeps me busy. I've asked for things to do, I want to keep myself up because this leg of mine is,
You gotta.
well, I broke my leg and I've been in here since I broke it.
Oh, is that what happened? I was
Yeah.
going to ask you, how did you happen to come to Evergreen in the first place? But
Well, the first place they sent me, I was in the hospital and then they sent me over to this. And then they weren't
over
doing
here?
too much for me. So I got a little mad there and I asked them somewhere else, so they sent me here. And my God, they were very good here. They worked on me good, and every day they take me walk, try to make me. Here I am. Thank God I'm walking.
you're
They
walking
didn't
and
think
I didn't see a cane anywhere. here.
No. You're not going to see no cane if I can help it.
Rehabilitation is tough. Once you break your leg, it's tough for young
Oh,
people.
yes,
Never mind
that's
senior
right.
citizens.
That's true.
Takes a little longer to get well.
I'm 74.
Are you really?
Yes, I am, sir.
Wow.
I know it. Well,
Well,
you got it.
Tell me a little bit about what it was like growing up in Osable Forks.
Well, you had to work. There wasn't much around in Osable Forks back years ago. There wasn't. They had two mills, a pulp mill and a paper mill. And when you worked there, let's put it this way. Does this go on TV?
Sure.
You almost starved to death. They weren't paying the wages in those days, But I guess my father got by to bring us up anyway, so. But it was rough, very rough in those days, yep.
You went to school there? You
Yeah,
started
I went to school, I sure did, right, public school, All Sable, yeah. I sure. And
That's
then when I left there, I was just turned 18. I went into service.
Did you? The Army?
Yeah, in the Army, yeah. I was in the Philippines.
What year would that have been?
That's 1945. I went to the Philippines.
Just getting to the end of the war, huh?
Yeah, I was just to the end, yeah. Because when I went to, first they shipped me to Hawaii, Honolulu. Then I left Fort Shafter on a boat and took me right into the Philippines. But when I got there, a lot of stuff was pretty well over, But it was still wicked, But That's just about it.
So you did your stint in the Army and then came back home?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And then what? Where'd you go to work?
I worked on the base for a while.
Did you?
Yeah. Then I worked to the mill down here in Plattsburgh. And then I went back home. I worked in the fire department for a while. But just about those jobs, there's just about the 4 jobs I had anyway. So I got by. That's the main thing.
That's all we got to do is try to get by the best way we can.
My home is in Allsable, so I got exempt from taxes, a lot of it being a veteran. School taxes and land and stuff like that. But,
Well, I met somebody, strangely enough, you meet people after they move from the area. A woman started corresponding with me via email on the computer from up in Palmer and Wasilla, Alaska.
wow.
And her name is Wesleyan Goodman. And strangely enough, she was born and brought up in Osable Forks.
I know who you're talking
She was a
about.
Clark, I think.
Clark,
wasn't she?
yes, she was.
And her dad's still out there, and he's
That's-
still going strong.
Silas Clark, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still going strong, that's right.
Isn't
Yeah.
that amazing?
Yeah.
There must be something about that air in Osable Forks.
It's
or
got to be.
Good water or something.
Yeah, good and healthy. You had to work there, so, I mean, get out and work, don't hurt nobody.
I've always wanted to ask everybody I talked to from Osable Forks, did you ever get to go inside Graves Mansion?
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah, it used to be the Rollbear, after the Graves Mansion, and then Rollbears bought it. They lived there for years, and then they took off, died. But the Graves Mansion, yeah, that's
Well, Calvin and Bob Venn did a tour, and I drooled through watching that whole thing because what a fabulous place. And at that time, which is what, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago now or more, that they did that show, they had wonderful plans for it. And I don't know if they ever did anything with it.
No, they were. I heard one time they were going to make a movie, but I never seen nobody.
I don't know. They were going to have tours and make a museum, and I don't go to Osable Forks except to drive through on my way
Yeah.
up to Lake Placid
Oh, yeah.
once in a while, so I don't get on the back street. And I can't. I would hate to say the wrong thing. There are apartments in there now. I just don't know.
I don't know.
Beautiful old house, though.
Oh, it's a beautiful home. There's
I bet as kids it looked like a haunted house, didn't it?
you scare them, a lot of them.
Really?
Yeah. But there used to be a lot of antiques when I went there when Rollbears owned it. I used to go in, boy, you could see the antiques. I don't know if they're
I
still
could tell
there.
just the woodwork. It was
Yeah.
pretty special in its day.
In its day, yes, it was very special.
Now, Howard, let me ask you, do you still have family around the area or not?
Well, my family is mostly all dead.
That'll teach you. Outlived everybody. huh?
No, I got one sister left, and she lives in Peru. She's 80, 83.
You weren't the baby of the family, were you?
No, my sister, she died of cancer.
Oh.
She was the baby of the family. She'd have been around 68 now. And the rest of them were all. My brother, he died, here a long time ago. He'd come out of the service, and it wasn't too long he died. So there was only 4 of us, 2 boys, 2 girls, and the only one I got left is my sister.
I know you plan to be around here for at least 35 more years.
35, I'm going to live more than that.
Oh, tell me what a typical day is like. You told me you deliver the papers in the morning.
Yeah.
What happens during the day here?
There's a lot of things going on. This activity room down here, they bring people in, they sing and dance, and you name it, really. They keep the people in here, the old people, they love it. You take if Mr. West, if he was coming today, you go in that activity room, you'd see it full.
Really?
Oh, my God, yes. Yeah. But there's always something going on that keeps the older people occupied with something constantly.
Well, the old idea that once you went in a nursing home, you had to sit in the corner and rock just doesn't hold anymore, does it?
Not here, it don't.
No.
I don't know about the rest. I've only been, like that one over there and here. But this one here, it's a godsend, really. It is. It's really a godsend, this place. There's so many people. I think they must have a list a mile long.
People come in and out, visit their families.
Oh, yes.
So you've met a lot of people here,
Oh,
made
my.
some good friends?
Yes, I have. I made some good friends here. I sure have. and they're awful nice, I'll tell you. Some of the guys that I met are dead now, but they were awful nice. And you don't find them very often around anymore like that, but they were there. They were nice, and like I say, they're gone.
So you're walking on your leg every day to get it stronger?
Oh, I keep it going every day. I don't stop.
You can tap your toe to the music.
Oh
now.
yeah. Oh, I go in there once in a while and do some dancing. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not a very good dancer, but they grab me and we dance anyway.
You play a few cards, or? do you-
Oh yeah. We play, but not no poker or nothing. I like to play poker, but we play just some games there. That's all. That's
You know, we were talking the other day when I was a kid. My father and everybody else's father played checkers all the time.
Yeah.
Checkers all
Yeah.
the time. I haven't played a game of checkers, I bet you, since I was 25 years old.
Well, you go the same with me because I haven't played checkers in years. They do have checkerboards here and all that stuff if you want to play checkers.
Just
You
never
know.
haven't played, but it used to be all the time.
We play cards a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's about probably 5 or 6 of us that.
Pinochle or poker or what?
No, poker. They like to play poker. Of course, we don't play for no money,
Yeah.
but we play a lot of poker. You know?
He says that with a big smile on his face. I imagine he's won more than $2 at poker in his life.
Oh, I used to play it a lot. I
Some
used
good
to-
games around
Oh.
in the old days.
I wish I was back in those old days again, really, sometime.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, with my age, be different, but
Well, you must feel good over here that you don't have to go out and shovel snow on a day like it might be later on today.
yeah, I know that. They said 2 to 5, so I don't know.
So did you own your own home in Osable Forks?
Yeah.
Or?
Yes,
Is it
it's a
still there,
trailer.
or-
Yeah, it's still there. It's right by the river. Of course, I'm in what they call it, flood area.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
So am I in Morrisonville.
Oh, well,
Been through
anyway,
lots of them.
yes, but I've had some problems there with the flood. I don't think I'm the only one, but no, Sable Forks there. And Len lived right on the other side of me.
Oh,
there.
I know.
So,
He had stories to tell.
yeah,
Anybody, you know, you
he had a
picked that spot. He had a great spot.
yeah. Oh, he had a beautiful home there. God, I think he's got about
Nice home. And
I think he's got about $100,000 in that home.
I don't
wouldn't
know.
say
He's-
for sure,
he
but
showed us his bottle collection and his old books and magazines and pictures. And
Yeah.
he's a nice guy to know. He's always got a good story about something.
yeah, Len is a nice fella. He's
Yeah.
a very nice fella, and I married his sister.
Isn't that amazing?
Funny how you get around.
We should come here today, and I should mention Leonard. And well, I guess I know him. He's my brother-in-law.
Right? Yes.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely terrific. Howard, I want to thank you so much for just taking time to talk to us. We
Well-
meet the neatest people on this program, and you're just the latest in a long list of real neat people from the North Country.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, it's good to tell the old stories and
Yeah.
let the younger generation know today that senior citizens are people too. You know, a lot of
bet your
times
life they are.
young people,
Yeah.
they're so busy in their lives, they don't take time to talk to the older people, but I've always said they can learn a few lessons.
If they came here, they'd learn a few lessons. I mean, these old people, they still got, some of them still got their mind, believe me, and they can do a lot of things.
Many different talents. People are artists,
Oh,
and
yes.
they can sing and play instruments and
Oh, sure.
even
yeah.
play cards pretty good.
Oh, cheat a little bit, but
You don't have to admit that.
I'm talking about the old people.
Okay. You know, my mother, when she was 88 years old, I said, "What are you going to do today on the telephone?" "Oh, I'm going to go and see what I can do for the old people."
Yeah, there's people from the city of Plattsburgh that comes in a lot.
Do they?
Yeah, we usually have a bake sale. Now last year we made over $200.
Wow.
This year we're starting the 28th of this month. Maybe I ought to advertise it.
Yeah.
On the 28th of this month.
And we're talking March. We're recording this
Yes.
on the.
This month. In this month, 28th. And we sell the food, and it all goes to like handicapped people and stuff like that.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, last year we collected $200 and it went to handicap. This year we're going to put it on by bowling, with handicaps, and it makes it nice. So
Isn't that?
yes,
Isn't that terrific?
That's very nice, I'll tell you.
To be able to help somebody else because other people are helping you, and you know, what goes around comes around.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
What they can do, we'll try.
Well, Howard, thanks so much for being with us today. We didn't mean to interrupt your schedule, but
Oh, you didn't.
we wouldn't have missed meeting you for the world.
Well, thank you very much. I
Have a
appreciate
great day. If I see Len Snow, I'll say, guess who I talked to?
it. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
He-
tell him you want to race him on the snowshoes.
I don't think I could beat him. For a man that's 91 years old and gets around like he does, it's I don't know.
That's probably how he got to 91, you know?
Oh, yeah, he was very active. Always thinking.
Walking in the woods and walking
Yeah.
around the golf course. And
His brothers, they're all in there. His brother, let's see, Timmy, I think he's around, he's got to be close to 90, 80 or 89 or 90 anyway. I don't know, but really, but they're in there. They're all old. And they all do a lot of walking.
got good genes, huh?
Oh, they got something. I don't know what it is, but
There's something
yeah.
special in Ausable Forks. That's what it's got to be. Howard, have yourself a great day, my friend. It's awful good to meet you.
Same here, and I thank you very much for interviewing me.
Howard Betters at Evergreen Nursing Home. To let our viewers know that we're at Evergreen Valley Nursing Home. We picked a nursing home in Plattsburgh to get a general idea about what nursing home is like and what the wonderful people are like who are in nursing homes in the area. And we're ready to meet yet another Thelma Keys. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
We thank you so much for taking a moment
Oh,
to
you're
come and talk
welcome.
to us today.
I'm sure, you're welcome.
Keys is a very famous North Country name. It seems to me
it's-
like a whole village is named after the Keys
It's
family.
Kiesd.
Oh.
This is German. And my great-grandmother's name was Keyes, and they pronounce it Kais.
Kais.
Kais. Eyes.
Oh, as in
I can see
Kaiser,
why
huh?
they did,
Yeah.
yeah.
Isn't that interesting? So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you brought up?
Oh, I'm a mountain girl from the Adirondacks, North Creek, New York,
North Creek.
north of Lake George.
Oh, what a wonderful place.
Yes, it was.
I'm
enjoyed
trying to remember Chet Bosworth, who worked with me on the radio for all those years. I think Marilyn is from North Creek or down in that general area.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a good spot.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it.
You lived there for how long?
Oh, I left there in what? Oh, God, 1928, I guess.
Did you?
I went to Oberlin College in Ohio. I got my
Great school.
public school music bachelor's degree. Then I went to Syracuse University and got my master's in music education degree.
Wow.
Yeah, so,
And then you taught for many years?
oh, yes, 25.
Where?
Oh, North Dakota. And,
North Dakota?
Yeah.
How did you
Bismarck.
end up in Bismarck, North Dakota?
Well, I was wandering around. I was young. It was a good state to be.
Wanderlust, huh?
Yeah, it's a good state to be from. It's so cold. Oh, my. You have no idea. Drops way below zero.
So you got a job working in a high school or a...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I went to Syracuse, and I taught in Onondaga Central, which is
Oh,
about
sure.
12 miles from
Absolutely.
Syracuse. I was there 12 years. Oh, and I worked for the airlines, Northeast Airlines.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, in New York. I liked that. It was fascinating. You met a lot of nice people on the phone. I had Prince, from Monaco.
Calvin, yeah.
Yeah,
Calvin's the one that has the names and now... Rainier?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
okay,
right.
Very
yeah.
good, Calvin.
I talked to
Putting the
him.
pressure on him.
I talked to him
Did you?
on the phone, yeah. You never knew who you were talking to, you know. It was fun.
So you worked for the airlines for a while.
Yeah, I went to Hartford, Connecticut, and took a course at Central Technical Institute, which is training people for airlines work.
Ah,
And see, I was having trouble with my legs, so I thought if I had a job where I could sit, I wouldn't be so uncomfortable. And then I had an operation on both hips, so I got 2 replaced hips. And I won't tell you that. Anyway,
yeah, my mother had both of her hips and kept her mobile
yeah.
till the end of her life.
Yeah, they put in highly polished silver prostheses in both hips, and yeah, I had 7 operations.
Oh, dear goodness.
Don't ever
And
retire.
You're sitting here smiling.
Don't ever
Oh,
retire.
my. Well, you know, I'm fascinated by the music field, the
Oh.
business that you were in.
Yes.
I've spent a lot of time in my life not only making music as a young person and singing with groups and college chorales and so on,
Oh, yeah, I did the same
but
thing.
in
yeah.
playing music on the radio here for 36 years, and now in listening to good music, and I've always spent a lot of time promoting music and musicians and those who teach music.
Good.
They're very special people.
Special classics, yeah.
Yeah.
Because some of the stuff you hear is just, it's so bad.
Well, what was your instrument of choice? The piano?
Piano, and I played viola, and I played clarinet.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we had beginning teachers orchestra and beginning teachers band, and so the viola was for the orchestra and the clarinet was for the band. So that's what I did.
Well, when you're studying music, you have to learn a lot about,
Oh, yeah.
a little about a lot of
Every-
instruments.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
every instrument. And I directed a lot of orchestras, so.
Did you really?
Oh, you know, have you seen that Sound of Music
Of course.
in Chazy?
Yeah.
Oh, they do a good job.
They're
That
terrific.
orchestra is tremendous. Do some of the people from town go in there and
Yes,
play?
they do.
I thought so.
Some of the schools have strictly student productions,
Yeah.
and others make it a town. Did you tape Shazy?
A
Did you?
community affair?
A community affair, and
Uh-huh.
lots of the townspeople get involved, parents and people who've never been in musicals before, and
Oh,
some who have talent. But they all blow me away.
I
love
thought they
it
did
'cause
a
it's lot of work.
terrific job, and they must have had some kind of amplifiers because the voices were so clear from the stage. It's a beautiful auditorium.
Isn't it great?
Oh, I couldn't get over it. I
And
guess
that's inspiring, isn't it, to see?
some
to see
man
a-
donated money for that school, so they said.
Oh, that was original school. Original school
original.
was Miner, Mr. Miner himself.
That's right, yeah.
And
minor.
we've done a number of television shows about the miners and about Miner Institute and about the museum up there in Chazy. There's a wonderful little museum up there,
Oh,
which is
I'll have to go
it's-
back and
is
go through.
terrific. But you're right. You're right to spotlight music in the schools because they
Yeah.
do so much.
Yeah.
Almost all the schools do their own shows.
Yeah.
Some are plays, some are musicals, and some are very, very ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
And it requires. I know we went to one at PHS this year. It's a great Gershwin show called Crazy for You, which I had
Oh,
seen.
yes,
I
yeah.
saw in a beautiful little Jewish theater in Montreal a few years ago. And there's a huge cast, and not one of these kids that I don't think one of them had ever tap danced before. They had to take tap dance lessons
Yeah,
before they could do the show because there's a lot of tap dancing. in
and
the
they
show.
loved it probably.
And they loved it, and they're just wonderful, and they're
Oh.
real troopers.
I taught in one school. I had the band on the stage, the gym across the hall, and kids tap dancing out in the hall. So you talk about noise. I had it. Oh, it was fun though.
So it was a good experience. What
Oh,
what age group do you like best?
I don't know. I think high school.
High school?
Yeah. I had a boy, and before we go out on the stage for recital or whatever, he'd give me a kiss on the cheek and say, "Good luck, Mom."
Oh, isn't that beautiful? You didn't say break a leg or anything.
Oh, no, he just said, "Good luck, Mom."
Did you give private lessons too?
Oh, yes. Gave piano lessons.
Did you
Yeah.
really?
Uh-huh. And cello lessons and some strings, violin and viola. So,
You know, I've always studied, and I've spent a lot of time promoting music and athletics. We started talking with Lefty Tessier, who was a wonderful athlete as a young man here in the North Country and in
Oh.
college and professional baseball later on in his career, and how many lessons are learned in athletics. But if it weren't for music, I wouldn't be the happy person that I am today because music has been such a huge part of my life, and I know, just looking at that sparkle in your eyes, that it's been a wonderful thing for you, too,
oh,
over the
yes.
years.
Yeah, I enjoyed every minute of it. Yes, I did.
And isn't it nice to know that you touched this life
So
today?
many
and this life
children,
today, and
yes.
This life today.
Yeah.
And those people appreciate good music because of what they learn from you. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of those young kids turned out to be famous in their own right.
Well, maybe. I know one time the father came in and he said, My wife can't come in. She's in tears because the music was so beautiful.
Oh, isn't
that really touched me, I'll tell you.
Isn't that?
Yeah.
Are you like I am? Beautiful things make me cry, and when I
Yeah.
hear beautiful music,
Yeah,
it's like after this 9/11 thing that's burned into our psyches,
Oh.
the patriotic music. I mean, it was like Kate Smith was back, and we were singing "God Bless America."
America all over
all
again.
over
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
So patriotic music. I'm one of those flag wavers that is. I'm filled with emotion every time I hear the national anthem. But how can we help but be with that old Kate Smith favorite, huh?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Now, you enjoyed playing classical music more
Yes,
than
I do.
anything yourself?
Yeah. I've had to stop playing the piano because I can't. I have a blind eye,
Oh, my
and I
goodness.
can't see the notes, and I can't play by ear. So I had to stop it. But broke my heart in a way.
Now, I don't know how many kids take piano lessons nowadays, but when I was a youngster in my town, almost everybody took piano lessons for at least for a while. And I took them for about 4 years. And if my poor old piano teacher were still alive today, I would have to get on my knees and apologize because, like everything else in my life, on the piano, I was a bull in a china shop.
Oh, I don't
But-
believe that.
But I enjoyed it, and I learned a lot of lessons from this woman. And every time it was my birthday, or every time it was Christmas, she would give me sheet music.
Well, I had a terrible time because I lived in a small town trying to find a piano teacher. But I went to the convent, and I had a nun that taught me beginning piano, and she'd say, "Oh, shucks, I think you can play that better. Let's do it again." Sister Mary Austin. And then I had to travel by bus 35, 40 miles to Glens Falls to take a lesson when I got home. And my hands would be so cold, I could hardly play, I'd have to put them in hot water and then try to play for Miss Dolan. But anyway, we lived through it.
So it's been a good life. Music has been a good life for you.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah. I wouldn't have wanted anything else.
Do you still listen to music a lot?
Oh, yeah, every chance I get.
You have
There's a
recordings?
man that comes here from Syracuse. He was here yesterday, and he plays the piano and the accordion, and he is great. He can play anything. You ask him, and he'll sit right down and play it. And his name is Ed Schenk. I don't know if you've heard of him or not.
Never heard the name.
He's from Syracuse. So I always look forward to when he comes. And there was one supposed to come today. I don't know, maybe the weather discouraged him. He didn't show up.
Did you ever make any recordings of your piano music, of your own self-playing?
No, but I sang with the a cappella choir at Oberlin College,
Did you
and we
really?
used to travel during spring vacation and give in churches and schools and so on, That was a good experience. We had these long boxes where we kept our robes, and we called them the coffins. You got the coffins with us?
So you traveled around during vacation, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we went to different states, all the eastern states one year, and then the midwestern states the next year. And then I traveled all the states west of the Mississippi because school was out early, and I wanted to do something, so that's what I did.
Isn't that
And
great?
then one time I said, oh, what am I going to do now? After I got my master's from Syracuse, I said, I'm going to take a trip to Europe. So we went to 7 different countries, and we broadcasted from Brussels, Belgium.
No, what
in
a thrill.
the first musical, it was held nationally. And the government gave us a little pin for participating. They were so glad we were there. So that was an experience, too.
What a wonderful experience to travel like that. And a lot of these small schools still have a cappella choirs that go about. I sang in some a cappella choruses through the years, and it's wonderful. I think my sister-in-law Mary, my brother Jim's wife, graduated from Oberlin.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's a fine school.
Great school, and
Yeah,
still
it
is.
is.
Has a
It
fine
is.
reputation.
And I didn't know that John Frederick Oberlin came from Alsace-Lorraine
No,
until
nor
I
did
got a brochure from there. And he started the first co-educational college in the United States. They would just take boys. They wouldn't take girls. So he said, why not? Why not take the girls?
Huh.
So that's how I got in there.
Isn't that wonderful?
And
What a
Olaf-
great story.
Olaf Christiansen was our director, and he was a terrific musician. And then he went to St. Olaf College. His father retired, and he took his place there. So,
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, you've had a good life.
oh, I have. Yes,
You've had
I
a
have.
good life, and
have.
you've enriched my life just by meeting you here today, Thelma Keys. Thank you so much for spending
Well,
a moment
You're
with
welcome,
us.
Mr. Little, I'm
See,
sure.
next time we come back, your brother will talk to us, maybe.
I don't know. He's a Hamilton graduate.
Hamilton. You see how much you would have had to talk to me about. I'll tell you how poor I was when I went to college. I applied to a lot of schools. I really wanted to go to Hamilton, and I visited the campus and fell in love with those ivy-colored walls.
In the old days, they didn't have the scholarships and what have you they have today.
No.
In my time, if your father couldn't afford your son to college, you just didn't go.
Well, you know, I had a scholarship. They offered me a very nice scholarship to go to Hamilton in 1955, and the difference between the scholarship and the tuition, room and board was maybe $200 or $300 a year, and my father was a poor Methodist minister and couldn't afford the difference, so I didn't go to Hamilton, but you did, so it's all right. Thelma, thanks so much.
Oh, you're welcome, I'm sure.
Have a wonderful
was
day and a great
A
life.
nice interview.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, both of you.
Well, now I've got to be very careful because we're in the chapel. We've been here before and done television programs here in the past for major occasions, one time or another, down through the years. And we're back again just to let our viewers know who might have joined us late. We're doing a little tour in the history of Evergreen Valley Nursing Home as an example of what nursing home is like here in the North Country. There are many similar facilities here and in the Tri-County region, and it behooves people to know what's available in their neighborhood should they ever need to avail themselves of the services. We're here with Kathy Welch. How are you?
I'm well today, Gordy, and I'm so glad you said neighborhood because, as you know, Evergreen Valley is neighbors caring for neighbors. So it makes sense that we start off talking about Evergreen Valley and the importance that this facility has had in the community. And as part of our commitment to community, one of the things that Evergreen Valley is in process of is developing an adult day center. This community has had a great need for a good many years, and so we are launching it this summer.
Now, what's your official title here?
I am the Director of Adult Day Services.
So it's only natural. You should be talking about it.
Yes.
So what's the plan? I understand there's going to be some massive changes. in
You
here.
bet. This great space, which, as you said, was the former chapel, now used as a community room for the skilled nursing facility, will be renovated greatly, just about from head to toe, if you will. This big space will be the main area of the adult day center, and then we are adding an addition onto the facility of 800 square feet. So this will be a big space for our program of adult
So
daycare.
when is the construction going to start?
The construction, we've got a shovel halfway in the
Oh, you
ground,
do?
if you will.
Is this a
And
picture of
this
it
is,
over here?
It is.
So Calvin can take, let me step over on this side and Calvin can
Okay.
take a picture of it.
So this then, if you think that this is the existing facility, if you will, this is the area that we're standing in that will be renovated. For instance, there is a step up and some planters in the back that look to be permanent, but they'll be totally renovated to give us some additional big space. And then this will be the main room of the adult day center. And then this part will be the addition. And the addition will include a reception area as well as a medical treatment room because we will be a medical model for adult daycare, and as well as a quiet room and places for personal care. It's going to be a great place for all kinds of activities.
Just briefly, what's the concept of adult daycare all about?
Well, as you know, that families are vested in keeping their parents, their spouses at home and providing the best care that they can. And Adult Day Services provides an opportunity for those clients to come to us for 5 hours a day, up to 8 hours a day if possible, to help families maintain the responsibility and love for their loved one, but gives them the freedom to continue their work if they're a working family, go to school, and live their own lives in a good way. So for those few hours a day, patients will come here, clients will come here and receive the care that they need in a safe environment, and then return to their families at night.
So you're kind of excited about this.
I'm very excited about this. This particular project has been the dream of Warren Tessier for a very long time. Since 1994, it's been on the drawing board, and it is my honor that he has given me the opportunity to develop this.
I love it.
It's
a feel-good thing,
It
isn't
sure
it?
is. It sure is, and it is definitely based on the needs of the community. And I think it's long in coming, and this summer will finally come to fruition.
Kathy Welch on the cutting edge one more time. Thank you so much for talking with us today. Kathy, a couple of questions I wanted to ask you. Exactly what are you going to be doing here? And the other question is, as we know, who's going to pay for all of this?
Two good questions, Gordy. First of all, that this is a medical model, which means that we will have a nurse on site throughout the hours that we're open, and we hope to be open Monday to Friday, 7:30 until 5 o'clock, so that patients can come early in the morning before their families go to work and stay throughout the day. And we will provide the transportation for those patients as well, to make sure that they come and they're safe getting here. And the important piece of this daycare is that having a nurse on board, that we can do personal care. We will have a state-of-the-art hydro tub, for instance, for families who have difficulty bathing their loved one at home. We can do that here. We will provide all personal care as well as medical treatments, anything from wound care on up to tube feedings. We can be very sophisticated because of our nursing skills. And we will also have a variety of structured activities so that patients also get that socialization that's so very important, and of course a nutritional hot noon meal will be served as well.
It's a pretty ambitious project.
You bet, you bet. Okay. But we think we can do it and do it well.
Thanks very much, Kathy. I lie a lot. I say goodbye to people and I come back again. Who's paying for it?
That's a very important question. And Medicaid will certainly pay the whole amount, and some private insurances, and we can explore that on behalf of the families, as well as a self-pay option will be available in the near future.
Just ask about it, right?
You betcha, and anyone can call at any time at Evergreen Valley, and we'd be delighted to answer any questions.
Okay. Okay, we're on again. Boy, I'm in the bright lights. I always wanted to be in the bright lights. We have some members of the nursing staff. Who are you?
Norma Torrance. I'm the 3 to 11 supervisor.
Norma, I'm pleased to meet you, and you are?
Lori Cook, the Director of Nursing.
All right, Norma, tell us what life is like here. What do you do?
Oh, it's wonderful. I have a full staff presently, basically, and we just do patient care. Get 2 meals that we serve to the residents, get them ready for bed in the evening, and we have activities in the social room for them.
How long have you been here?
3 years, going on 4.
Did you work before that in the field?
Yes, I've worked here when I first got out of college for 5 years.
Did you really?
Yeah, when it was Sacred Heart, yes.
No, so you're very familiar with this facility.
I've worked at Meadowbrook also.
So then you came back here.
Yes, this is home.
That's great. Did you always wanted to get into nursing when you were a little
Yes.
child? Did you? So a lot of people do. I know my kids that are in nursing always wanted to be in nursing. I have a daughter, Barbie, who's a nurse on Long Island, and she just kind of knew very early that she was going to be in the nursing, and went to Clinton and got her degree and worked here for a while. And this is an especially rewarding, personally rewarding field in the nursing home business, don't you find?
Yes, it is. It's very rewarding.
Yep.
It's a good field to be in.
That's great. Well, thanks for being with us. Lori,
Hello.
so you're running the show, huh?
Trying,
Tell me a little bit about it. what you do and what the staff.
What do? I interview prospective employees, write policies, monitor what's going out on the floors, do in services. I do a little bit of everything. Reviewing charts, looking at care, dealing
Really,
with.
a lot going on in the course of a day
Yes,
inside these
yes.
walls.
Many
Seems nice
interruptions.
and peaceful when you drive by, but
Yes,
people
yeah.
only knew what it was about.
It's very busy. Very busy.
Well, tell me a little bit about your background. Where were you brought up? Okay.
My father was in the Air Force, and we lived in a lot of different parts of the country, and I lived in Iceland for 2 years.
Oh my goodness.
And then my father came here after Iceland, and he retired here, and I graduated from Peru and became an LPN, and then went back to school to get my RN.
I didn't ask you, where did you go to school, Norma?
Peru.
Come on. Two Peru kids.
Uh-huh.
Ended up both in this. Did you know each other through the
No.
years?
No.
Not until you came back here?
Right.
Isn't that neat?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're so delighted that you took a couple of minutes to say hello to us today. Congratulations to you for being so dedicated. I know it's hard work, but it's work that makes you feel good when you go home when you know you've done something.
Yes, it really does. It's a great opportunity to make a difference in somebody's life.
It is.
You know.
Lori and Norma, thanks again. Have
Thank
a
you.
great day.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Boy, when I said the Cook's tour, you weren't kidding. We had a great tour of the inside of your facility today, Lefty, and we really appreciating you to get people for us to talk to and show us the rooms, and we just enjoyed ourselves so immensely. Calvin asked a question when the tape was off, and I'd like to repeat it because I didn't realize there are, in the North Country, there are quite a few nursing home facilities and other similar kinds of facilities. You said there are how many in
There
Clinton
are
County alone?
5 nursing homes in Clinton County. CVPH, Meadowbrook,
Yeah.
Cedar Hedge, Clinton County Nursing Home, and Evergreen.
So,
In the surrounding areas, of course, the other counties also have nursing homes. So there's quite a few in the North Country. And the designations are usually by county.
So, as I said before, and I want to say again, but before you make decisions about what to do, if you are a senior thinking about moving into a similar facility, study it. Talk to people.
No question.
Go and visit. If you have friends in any of the area nursing homes, stop in, meet the staff.
Absolutely.
Find out what they do, what their plans are.
I mean, that's what I would tell my own family members, to go visit the nursing homes and so on. What happens oftentimes, though, it becomes a time crunch, and placement comes faster, and you don't always have the luxury of doing that. But nevertheless, it's still important, and we always encourage it, and we get as much information to people as we can so that they'll understand our practices, and we certainly want to. We believe, like a good facility would, if you can get them in the facility, you can sell your facility to them, and that's really what we try to do.
How long a waiting list do you have, for example, right now as we're recording this in March of 2002?
Well, the waiting list is a sort of a nebulous term. The waiting list really is generated in the hospital where they have people waiting placement.
I see.
But there are a variety of different levels of care, and so all of the people waiting don't need nursing home placement. They may be better off in an adult home such as Vilas Home, or perhaps even they could go to Lake Forest, which doesn't have health care services, but they may not need some at some point. So there may be a lot of people waiting placement, but all not necessarily for nursing homes. I'm sure at the present time that most nursing homes are, they're running anywhere from 97 to 99% occupancy at any given time.
Well, pretty soon, this chapter in your history is going to be in the past, and Wendy is delighted that the telephone service between here and Rochester works really good.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
already got a few hard questions that she's going to save up till you take off.
Well, whether I've got the answers or not, I certainly will look forward to filling that role, because I have invested an awful lot in this facility, and certainly are looking forward to staying in touch and doing what I can for them.
Every day is a new challenge, and as I
Sure
said,
is.
she said he knows the answers to a lot of questions, but isn't it amazing how new questions can arise?
Yeah, they do.
That you never dreamed about 2 years ago?
Well, they keep changing the game. I mean, and in the last 3 or 4 years, it's been literally a dogfight, and the nursing homes just keep getting a bad rap, and we don't deserve it. It's very adversarial with the bureaucrats and the politicians, and we're always fighting from behind the eight ball. In our situation here in the North Country, we're fortunate because we have a gentleman by the name of Ron Stafford who is very supportive and helps us in any way. Otherwise, I think we'd get killed with the attitude that's going on now. I mean, the statistics just don't bear out the public criticism that nursing homes get, and the idea of human error is never allowed to enter the picture. The fact is that, by and large, most people get better care here than they did in their own homes, and we don't look at it that way because when we have a placement, families tend to feel the guilt, and they take the guilt out in the nursing home, and so we have the state and the families and everybody that we have to answer to, and it's a very difficult situation. And right now it's zero tolerance. You can't make mistakes, so it's a tough time to be in the business. But we also know, having done it for many years, that it's very, very rewarding. And I would say to anyone who would be watching the program that the North Country is very fortunate because of the 5 nursing homes, at least in Clinton County. A relative could be served very well in any of them, and they're all top shelf, and I highly regret. I'd put my own mother in any of them.
All the more reason to tip our hat to you. Thank you for all your many years of service here in the North Country and elsewhere, and to your wonderful staff, to all the charming people we've met today.
Thank you very
They've made
much.
our day, I know, and I hope we've helped out a little bit here. And congratulations to all the people who are in this business all over the North Country, wherever you might be. We tip our hometown cable television hat to you, too, and wish you the best of luck in everything you do. Be
Thank you very
careful.
much.
Be careful driving across the
I will.
state. I think you know the way by now.
I do. Thank you.
Warren, Lefty, Tessier, and the staff at Evergreen Valley Nursing Home, and who knows where we're going to be